Franklin's Bay, send us your online marketing challenges. This video is about Panda, Google's new algorithm. The new algorithm reorganized the way Google evaluated their search results. Consequently, some websites were pushed up the search engines and others were pushed down. This has left so many webmasters and website owners confused on how Panda is going to affect their ability to be found on the search engines. So I'm going to try to break it down into really simple terms that almost anybody can understand. We're going to start off with a little bit of history. You may not be aware, but back in 2008, Google began to hire people just like yourself to evaluate websites. They're referred to as outside testers or quality raters. The quality raters were given a handbook which, among other things, explained the process and the questions they wanted answered while the raters were browsing through the websites. After gathering information from hundreds of thousands of websites, the data started showing clearly what the raters liked and didn't like on a website. And Google started labeling these as user feedback signals. However, it's important to note that the raters only ranked the landing pages, not the entire domain. Google officially released their algorithm Panda in March 2011. The algorithm Panda was actually internally named after an engineer, Panda. And unofficially, SEOs called it Farmer because its apparent target was content farms. This engineer named Panda developed a software program that allowed servers to run faster and do more through something referred to as machine learning. Now, this really excited the people at Google because they had just the job for servers that could run faster and do more, like filtering user feedback signals and data metrics for the new Google algorithm Panda. Now, the user feedback signals are divided into two different categories, positive signals and negative signals. Each time the crawler comes across something that it interprets as a positive signal, it pushes you up a little higher in the rankings. On the other hand, every time it comes across something it interprets as a negative signal, it pushes you down a little. Now, Panda doesn't just rely on user signals. It also looks at your user data metrics. Metrics like, what is your bounce rate? How long do visitors spend on each page they visit? Do visitors browse to other pages on your website? Where do visitors come from before visiting your website? And more. By combining the user signals and the user data metrics plus the machine learning process basically allows Google to separate the wheat from the chaff. Panda means something new for owners and SEOs. Over the years, we've all been told to do basically the same old things, like keyword research, writing good content, making sure that content is accessible by the search engines, and creating good backlinks. Now, in the past, we didn't have to worry quite as much about the user's experience on our website as we do today. Today, you have to think broadly about what type of experience your users are having on your website. Is it creating a brand that people are going to love, share, link to, bookmark, and trust? It's as if today's SEOs have been elevated to the position of web strategist, because everything you do online today will impact your website's rankings more than ever before. And because of this, there's some things you should do to keep yourself out of trouble with Panda. One of the best would probably be not taking shortcuts with short-term schemes. One old but common practice is a lot of links to a small number of pages on your website. This is one of the things that Panda will penalize you for. Some of the others are links in the footer, multiple links in the content on the same source page. You say you don't believe it? Check out Overstocks.com's Trip to the Penalty Box by Google. Sites that we traditionally view as having better content and backlinks today are ranking poorly since Panda's launch. This is more than likely being caused by a couple of things. First is quality raters like those sites less, or the signals that predict quality raters are going to like those sites less is present on those sites. Today, you have to start thinking more like a web strategist. In the past, good design and a good user experience would attract a few more links, and maybe a few more people would contribute some really meaningful content. You could also attract more positive social signal shares, like tweets and likes. The really important thing to remember is all of these things were only considered secondary effects. Today, your website has a first factor effect on your website rankings, so it's very important that you take time to eliminate any negative factors that can be found on your website. Some negative user signals are: content is buffeted by advertising, content blocks are too broken up, content isn't viewable in single page format, you have to hit next too many times to find what you're looking for, the graphics don't look good, the site looks dated. All this will impact your rankings. Just remember this, Google has already said publicly, even if you have a great site, if you have pages of low quality on your website, it can drag down your overall rankings. You really need to consider blocking them or taking them down entirely. Really, how much more clear can they make it? If Panda finds negative features on your website, you will be penalized. Since the introduction to Panda, the bar has definitely been raised for all of us. Most importantly, Panda is a signal from Google that things are going to change. From this point forward, good quality, useful content isn't going to be good enough anymore. The truth is, there's just too much high quality, good content out there competing for your marketplace. That's the major reason why user signals are becoming so important to Google. User signals help filter out low quality content, like content that's been written for the search engines, not the visitor. For example, let's say you have a website with 1,000 different snowboard products, and you've decided to create unique content for each product. So you go to Mechanical Turk and you outsource the rewriting of the content. It comes back well written and unique, so you're fairly sure you have good content, right? Not really. This is exactly the kind of content Panda is designed to find and penalize. Through the quality rater signals, Panda can tell this content was more than likely written for the search engines, not the visitors. So, consequently, this page and the 1,000 different snowboard product pages would be penalized and would contribute to bringing down your overall rankings for your website. There's actually been a recent high-profile example of this penalty. In a recent interview with Matt Cutts, Google's top spam fighter addressed this very issue. There's a website, suite101.com, and his rankings have tanked. During an interview with Wired magazine, when questioned about the drop, Cutts stated, "I feel pretty confident about the algorithms used on Suite 101. In the same interview, Sink Hall, another famous spam fighter at Google, stated, "Our classifier we built this time does a very good job of finding low-quality sites." The truth is, if it's not the kind of content that makes you say wow and immediately want to share it with all your snowboarding buddies, it's just probably not good enough. Panda can tell if it's on topic, a little bit funny, giving a little different or a new point of view, and maybe even how interesting it may be to the reader. Panda takes the user signals and combines it with the user data metrics and pulls it all together with the machine learning process to take the emphasis off the traditional ranking factors. The good old days are gone. No longer are you going to be able to just focus on your keywords and where they appear, the title tags, the keyword density, your backlinks, so many simple little things. From this point forward, Panda makes you change the way that you look at your website. It goes beyond link and authority metrics, beyond on-page optimization, and folds in quality, credibility, and perceived trust metrics. Together with user metrics and social data, Google can rank a website based on a whole slew of scoring criteria, way beyond just link graphs and SEO 101 factors, which still remain important and shouldn't be neglected. Content integrity, usability, even aesthetics are all now in the realm of SEO. Finally, from this point on, you're going to be optimizing around user and usage metrics. User and user metrics like, what's your bounce rate? Time spent on site? How many pages did your visitors visit? What's your click-through rate compared to your search engine result page position? What is your diversity and quantity of traffic? And much, much more. Much of the metrics I believe Google will use will fall into the realm of user engagement. Those data sets can be combined with a successful search result into a powerful metrics for your website. I also believe that metrics is now replacing PageRank as the #1 Google indicator of a quality website. So smart business owners and SEOs should start optimizing for these new metrics as fast as possible. Of course, there's a natural resistance to change. However, SEOs and webmasters are going to have to change the metrics around their website, or they're just going to continue to be penalized by Panda's algorithm. Now finally, Panda is here to stay. Google is happy with the way things have worked out. The users are happy with the search results they're getting. And I suspect Google may even get more aggressive with these type of algorithms in the future. Well, thanks for listening. This is Franklin from Franklin's Bay. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Well, until next time, be safe and God bless.